Hi and welcome back, and today we're going to talk about effective communication at work. Do you often find that at work you're often overloaded with the amount of emails and messages you get from colleagues? Well, today we're going to talk about how to make this more effective and more efficient for you. We're going to look at the importance of engaging with people. What are the different ways to communicate? And the message, audience, and delivery kind of objectives that you want to aim your communication towards. And what sort of message delivery of communication you can use based on the situations that you find yourself in. It's essential to understand how to share clear, compelling, and relevant messages that will help your team members do their jobs effectively and passionately. How many times have you received workplace communication that is unclear, uninspiring, or difficult to understand? Communication done badly is one of the biggest causes of disengagement and disgruntled employees. It's surprisingly easy to cause offense, unease, or confusion via written or spoken word. And on the flip side, we all know that fantastic communication has the potential to clarify, inspire, and create a shift in people's mentality. In our busy workplace environment, it's easy to lose sight why we're actually communicating. We might be communicating because we've been told to, or because we do so as part of an everyday task. But why are we really communicating? What exactly are we trying to achieve with our messages? You can use something called the 3I framework to achieve your communication goal. Even when you're busy or when you're rushed to do things, you can always ask yourself, which of the I's am I trying to achieve? If you're clear on a communication goal, it's much more likely that your audience will be too. The first I is informed. This means you're purely passing information on. You don't expect any action, but this might be just a status update or a status report. This will be one way in nature, but be clear there's no action required. An example of this, like you're letting someone know that things have happened and that it may or may not affect them. The second I is involve. This means you're asking people to do something or make a change. It's kind of like a call to action. It's important that in your message that you make it clear and explicit about what you're asking them to do, who and from and when. Make sure that if you do a involved message, don't leave the action be buried at the end of a long message. The last I is ignite. This is when you're trying to inspire people. You're trying to spark a feeling in people to be able to excite, shock, or create a sense of pride or help people to care. This is often overlooked, but it isn't enough to make people act on something, but it's enough to plant the seeds in them to get them to think about things differently and try and provide some kind of opinion on certain topics. The next is the 3M's: message, audience, and delivery. This is what we want to communicate, who do we want to communicate to, and how should we choose to do it, and not the other way around. The first is message. Understand how to craft a compelling message. Turn complex data or technical information into something clear, simple, and memorable. As part of audience, we want to understand the intricacies of varied audience groups and their different needs. Identify what will grab their attention and make them care. The last is delivery. We want to understand the different types of delivery methods available and which will work best. Then deliver with clarity, passion, and sensitivity. You can consider this MAD method, where you're giving team briefings, sharing a vision, sending an email, or having a conversation. It's a quick and simple planning tool. Now let's look at different methods of delivery. So we have emails, formal presentations, videos, and all hands. These are methods that are best for one-way communication. They require some element of planning and structure. However, these are not the best for generating discussions, responding to questions, or building relationships because of their one-to-one nature. Make sure you carefully plan simple and memorable messages to share. The next is team meetings, team briefings, one-to-one manager conversations, and training workshops. These methods require some element of planning and structure, but they're more of a two-way conversation. They allow for a discussion as well as building relationships. Make the most of these as an opportunity for face-to-face interaction. The next is informal chats, spontaneous conversations, or perhaps meeting them at the kitchen or corridor. These are valuable because they're more relaxed and informal moments. The last is role modeling, where your actions can show people what you're trying to communicate. This is a very powerful method. So there are a number of things in summary. Water wheel, not a waterfall. As a manager, we want to not only push methods downwards, but also communicate with them. Make sure you seek feedback upwards on behalf of your team. Encourage your team to do the same. Don't forget to step into the shoes of others when you're trying to leverage your high-level business messages. While everyone has a role to play in shaping the vision and the strategy and sharing this with your team and stakeholders, don't forget that people react in different ways and emotions can run high, particularly when changes are involved. Don't forget, communication is not only verbal. It has been said that only 7% of meaning comes from the actual words that are spoken. Your tone of voice and body language can be your most impactful leadership communication tools, so don't forget about your stance, gesture, tone, pace, and pauses when talking. Lastly, and more importantly, be authentic. The best managers don't try to be something that they're not. There's a fine line between owning business messages and being open and transparent, but people will quickly see if you're not comfortable. Don't be afraid to show the real you with confidence and command. If you found this video useful, don't forget to comment and click to subscribe. Watch out for our upcoming new videos.